Hello all, my name is Singh and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is a sixth tutorial of the statistics playlist where we will try to understand what the random variables actually are. See, when you start doing some data analysis and doing some statistical analysis, you will realize that most of the time you will encountering with the term known as a random variable. So let's understand what the term actually is. Let's go ahead. So now let's try to understand what exactly is a random variable using a very simple example, right, which is exactly a dice. So again, if I will roll this dice, right, if I will roll this dice, okay, so by the way, this is a dice which is a cube shaped object which is quite popular, which is usually used in games like snakes, ladder, which are again quite popular games in Asian countries. So if I will, okay, so this dice has 6 faces and every face have some number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So okay, if I will roll this dice, I will actually end up having the any of the 6 outcome, right? I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And all these outcomes, they are actually equally probable, right? So what does it exactly means? It means that probability of arriving 1 on a dice will be equivalent to 2, will be equivalent to 3, will be equivalent to 4, will be equivalent to 5 and will be equivalent to 6 as well. It means every outcome have a equal probability to arrive at, right? So here you can say that I have an experiment which is a rolling a dice. So if I will roll a dice, I can have all these possible outcomes, right? I can have all the possible outcomes, right? I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then I can actually define a random variable x, right, which can have any random outcome among 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So this x, this capital X is typically a random variable. Oftentimes it is represented as a y or h, but at the end of the day it is a random variable which can take any of the possible outcomes you have in your random experiment, and all these outcomes are equally probable, right? They are equally probable. Okay, so now let me define what a random variable is. I can say that it is actually a variable, right, which can take any outcome or any value of a random experiment, right, of a random experiment, or you can say a random phenomenon or a random task that you have to do, right? This is what a random variable is. Okay, this sounds interesting. Let's touch upon a couple of simple examples. So let's talk about a simple example. Let's say tossing a coin that you may have heard about in your school days. So as soon as I will toss a coin, we will end up having an outcome as either as head, right, either as head or as tail, right? So I can define a random variable y which can have any random outcome among head or tail. It means this y can receive either head or tail and both are equally probable. It means probability of arriving head will be equals to probability of arriving tail, right? It is as simple as that. Okay, this sounds interesting. So imagine I have a random variable x, right, which have all these values or all these possible outcomes, and let's say I have a task, right? Let's say I have a task here. Imagine I have to compute what is the probability that a random variable x can have an even number, right, can have an even number. So you will notice that among all the outcomes I have the 3 outcomes as even number, right? So I can say that probability that a random variable x is an even number, it will be all about 3/6, right, because there are 3 values which are even and the total of outcomes are 6. So it basically means that probability, right? Probability that a random variable X can have all these values, which are 2, 4 and 6, right? 2, 4 and 6, or you can say that probability of a even number will be 3 by 6. Okay, this sounds interesting. So if I say, hey, what is a probability that a random variable X can have a value as a x1, right? That's how you can represent that. It means what is a probability, or you can say what is a probability that a random variable X can have a value as x1, or taking a value as x1. That's what it means. So now let's understand what are the various types of the random variable. See, typically it is broadly classified into two categories. The first is a discrete random variable, and second is something known as a continuous random variable, right? Continuous random variable. So discrete random variable are those random variable where the values we have or the data we have when it is countable in nature, and continuous random variable is that random variable when we have the real values, right, or when we have the continuous values, right, which are defined in some range, right, when it is defined in some range. Okay, so coming to the discrete random variable, if I will consider example of a dice roll, you have noticed that over there we have actually countable number of outcomes, right? Because here we have actually 3 outcomes. We do not have any value as 3.5, 4.1, right? Similarly, let's say number of missed calls in your phone, or total number of missed calls on your phone. So this number will be integer, or it will be countable. Hence, I can treat as a discrete random variable. Now, coming to the continuous random variable, so let's talk about the airline ticket prices. So similarly, let's say temperature of your body, right? Because body temperature, let's say it can be 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. It can be some value, right? So you will notice that all these values are actually defined in some range, and they're actually real values, and that's what the continuous random variable are. So that's all about the random variable tutorial. For those of you who have any doubt, please share in the comment section. So that's all about it. Take care, goodbye, and God bless you.